Hey there, lovely people. Welcome to Be Your Best You with Tash and Becky, your go-to hangout for all things spiritual, subconscious, and downright magical. We're here to sprinkle a little mystical wisdom into your everyday life and help you level up your reality.
Picture this as your cosmic coffee date, where we chat about the unseen world, blend in some psychology vibes and stir up the subconscious magic. Get ready to be the queen of your own reality, live a life that lights you up and have a blast doing it.
So grab your latte or your tea and let's dive into another episode of Be Your Best You, where the mystical meets the mundane and your best life awaits.
Cheers to creating magic together.
Let's do this.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Be Your Best You with Tash
and Becky, the Bash edition.
And today we are talking about personal radical responsibility.
Yeah. Tash tells us off in this one.
I get ranty. It's not ranty, is it? I get passionate.
Yeah, you do.
This was a fun one. I say this every time. But it was great because fun. There's a really powerful message behind this.
Yeah.
And this is about stepping up to the next level of consciousness. So many of you guys listening, you're going to be out of victim mentality. You're going to realize that you create your reality and, you know, other people don't make you feel a certain way. It's down to how you react. Well, this is the next level of that. And there's really big consequences to stepping into this level of consciousness, but there's also a lot of trigger points that you have to work through in order to get on the other side. So this episode is designed as an activator, as a sparkler, because that's what you found.
That's how I
remember doing it.
Yeah. And I think also something that will continue on for the rest of the day, at least, in the background after you've listened to Tash and all the huge concepts, but she makes it make so much sense and gives you so much to think about. So there's like stuff to process. And I think when you're listening to it, you'll be like, oh, yes, you'll go off. You'll be in your own world thinking, oh, I do it here, I do it there. And then you'll continue to make it make sense as you go about your day. So we're excited about this one.
Yes.
I feel like we really need this at the moment.
I think it's very relevant for the world that we're living in, isn't it? So this isn't about learning or teaching. This is about getting you to think and spark and open up new subconscious awarenesses in yourself. So it's a valuable one. Don't miss it. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, rate and review the podcast, because we need other people to hear this. And that's the way to get us out there. So thank you so much for doing that.
Can I have a high five?
Yeah, there you go. You can. Always. Thanks. Bye, guys. Bye. Before we start, if your mind is constantly telling you, I should be doing more, and you're stuck in that cycle of overthinking, pressure, and never feeling like you've done enough, we've made you a free 12-minute audio reset. It's called Return to Self, and it's linked in the show notes. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Be Your Best You with Tash
and Becky, the Bash edition.
And today we are talking about radical personal responsibility.
Yeah, you tell them.
I'm getting strict in this one, guys. This one's been a brewing for a while, and actually, like, for me personally, because it's something that I feel very, very strongly about. And I'll tell you for why. Everything I do, right? I don't think I need to say this anymore. I feel like I say it all the time. But for those of you who are new to the show or who don't really know me that well, everything I do is coming from my soul mission, what I feel I am here on this earth like to do. And that is to usher humanity's consciousness into this. Do you like that, Bex?
Girl.
Usher humanity's consciousness into that kind of, for lack of a better term, 5D consciousness, like ascend this consciousness out of this 3D scarcity, shitty reality into 5D consciousness. And the way we do that is by understanding the concepts of reality, understanding who we are, understanding that the truth of remembering who we are. And all of that leads to love, ultimately coming from love always instead of fear, but also coming together as one. Like, we hear this stuff about, you know, oneness and we are all one, we're not separate, we're the same as the trees, and it's really hard to, you can understand that on an intellectual level, but it's hard to embody it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I'm driven by, to go back to my original point, was bringing people together. I feel like we cannot ascend into this 5D reality whilst we're in separation. That's a separation of 3D. 5D is oneness, okay?
Right.
And so everything that I do to working with myself, working with my clients, the podcast, the things I talk about, everything is always trying to stem from how can we bring people together, because the world is so divided right now. There's so much anger and separation, and for me, like, that ain't gonna cut it.
No.
We need to get as many people as possible to see from a place of oneness, right? So that's where this is coming from. This is because I believe that, like I said about, there's one thing to understand it intellectually, but then there's embodying it.
Yeah.
And that's difficult, and that's what a lot of us skip. We consume. We understand all the ideas up here, but until it drops down into the body, it's not right. It's not doing anything.
No.
Nothing changes. So, in my opinion, understanding radical personal responsibility, and not only understanding it, obviously it's actioning it, but also it's seeing it. Look, I'm getting like feisty up in here, aren't I? I'm moving all over the place.
Yeah.
It's seeing it. It's seeing the whole world through a different perspective, through the lens of togetherness, of oneness.
Right.
And I feel that naturally I've come into this earth with the ability to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's just one of my remembrances.
Right.
Yeah, that I've come in with. And I think it's for a purpose, because I was eventually supposed to do this. So for me, I understand that it's easier for me to see this way.
Yeah.
I just look at it. I look at it through this perspective, and I'm like, why can't we all just, why are we separated? Why can't we all think like as one? But I also appreciate that that's because I have that perspective naturally. Yeah. Whereas I know for many humans, like, we don't. And so the reason I want to do this episode is because I want to try and help as many people at least see this perspective, be aware of this perspective as possible, and understand, like, this is kind of where we need to head to, not only to make the world a better place and to go into this 5D consciousness, but to make your life experience better. When you can really own your shit and take personal, radical responsibility, life just becomes easier because you feel like you are in total control. It doesn't matter the shitstorm that's going on around you. Everything could be falling apart and collapsing. And let's be honest, in these times that we're in right now, that's a lot of people's reality in lots of different ways. But that is the realities when a lot of us are living in right now. But when you can take personal radical responsibility and have this perspective of oneness, which we will talk about in the episode, you just feel like you still got your hand on the steering wheel and you're still driving, and most of all, you can feel more at peace, like, through it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like that was
definitely.
a love.
And you feel less helpless, don't
Yes.
you? Because, when you're looking at these things going on or whatever in the world, or, people with different opinions to you, if you can bring it back to you and how you feel and how you want to feel, it cuts everything else out, doesn't it? But it is a process, isn't it, to get to that point? So
yeah, it's not a one and done. It's not like you listen to this and then it's like,
no. And like you did come in with that strongly.
And like, it's not to say, like, I mean, because this is very obviously personal radical responsibility. If we're looking at it on a spectrum, you've got radical personal responsibility here on this side of the spectrum, and on the other end we've got victim mentality, right? We've talked about victim mentality a lot. It was like our second episode, I think, as well, because it's really important, because it's the fundamental understanding of a spiritual awakening, I think, isn't it? It's starting to step out of victim mentality. Yeah. So to go back to what you said, I came in with it naturally. I did. I came in with the remembrance, yes, but I was absolutely in victim mentality.
Sure. Yeah. So still,
yes,
on that spectrum, still work to do.
Yeah, always, because we're humans. Yeah, and we have programming, right? So a lot of you might resonate with the fact with that, you know, or feel even like contradicted. Like you might feel like, oh, I'm confused because I
Definitely.
kind of do feel like I came in with that understanding of oneness and why are we all separate. But actually I do step into victim mentality and that's totally normal.
And so draining, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel like a walking contradiction and I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't make sense to me and then it does drain my energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like you always say, it's just becoming aware is the most important thing.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to do this episode, because like I said, it's just an awareness of another perspective, another way of looking at things through this lens of let's not get divided, let's try and come together. Okay, and I want to say, like, I'm not sure if everyone listening to this will, but some people may get triggered by the contents of this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Yes.
Because if you're getting triggered, it's showing you where you are still living in separation,
so
in
useful.
victim, in to me consciousness, because this is what it's about, right? It's the levels of consciousness. So you've got, it's happening to me, things are happening to me, that's your very, very victim mentality.
Yeah.
And then you've got more of that, it's happening by me, like, oh yeah, so I can control this. I can do this. So then you can go up even higher and go through me. It happens through me. So then that's when you let go and you go, oh, I allow it to flow. Yeah, through me.
Right.
And then you can go up higher and it's like as me. Right. And that's when you reached the epitome of 5D. I don't think anyone's there yet.
Oh.
Well, maybe a few people who,
maybe.
you know, maybe are. But, you know, a lot of people, when you're stepping into your spiritual awakening, when you're waking up, you're going from to me consciousness, that victim mentality, into by me consciousness, where you start realizing, oh, I can control this, I can control that. But actually what we want to start moving into now is the through me, where we can let go and allow things. But that's
and almost
kind of another.
Transmute it?
Yeah, well, I mean, that, to be honest with you, I went off on a bit of a tangent there. It's kind of not relevant to well, it is relevant, but it's a bit of an aside.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. Yes, transmute it, but it's more of just a complete letting go. So when you're in by me consciousness, so the second stage after victim mentality, you understand that you're in control, but there's still there's a tightening up of control almost. So you do let go of as with all of this stuff, that it's paradoxical. So you do let go of control because you realize, there's, you know, more things happening, there's more things at work, there's unseen forces at play, so you can let go of control a little bit there. But then when you realize, like, oh, I am actually responsible for my reality and I am the creator of the reality, and it tends to have like you want to control it more again in a different type of way, because now you're like, oh, I know this is about my childhood wounds, and I know this is about my limiting beliefs, and now I have to change them, and I have to fix myself, and I have to do. And you can get stuck in that trap of, you know.
Yes.
So then the next stage up from that, ideally, which we all want to be coming into, is the through me consciousness. And like we said, it's like you really do let go of the control again, and you trust that everything, yes, you do take action, yes, you are in control, but it's aligned action, and you trust that there's a higher plan, your higher self, your guides, you know, your frequency, like however you see the world, the unseen world in that way. There is a bigger plan. There is stuff going on energetically under the surface that you don't have to struggle and strive and force. You get to flow. You get to be in touch with your intuition, and you get to allow. So it's more about allowing rather than forcing. That's the through me consciousness. Let's not even talk about as me, because we're not there. But as me is important, because as I said right at the beginning, that's why I feel like I want to talk about this personal radical responsibility, because that's where we're aiming for. And we can't get to as me if we're still separate.
Sure.
Okay, let's bring it back, because I've gone on to a bit of a tangent there. Right. So I said, this could trigger some people, because it's going to be very much like taking onus. Well, what is personal radical responsibility? It's taking complete and utter ownership of yourself and everything that's occurring in your life. Good, bad, ugly, all the stuff that you think, you know, oh, well, no, that's just
Yeah.
awful, that's bad luck, or
Yeah.
that's got nothing to do with me. Everything. Go back to our episode, I can't remember what it was called, but the one where we're talking about you create your reality. It probably is called that, isn't it? And where we talk all about this is an illusion, it's a bit of a game, put the headset on. If you have that concept, I think you have to have that understanding, or at least belief that that's potentially what reality is, in order to understand and fully step into personal radical responsibility. No person who is not open, at least, to the thought that this isn't everything that, what we've been told, like reality isn't what we've been told, and we're not just on a dead rock flying through space, and we live, we work, we die. Like, your personal radical responsibility is going to be really, really hard to take if you have that worldview. I'm assuming that everybody listening to this podcast does not have that worldview. At least you'll be in different stages, but you're at least going to have some kind of openness to the fact that, we do create our reality. There's more going on the surface. There's energetic things at play. There's a bigger force driving us. There's a bit more magic in the universe, right? Then you can be more open to personal radical responsibility. But I see this in the spiritual world, in the self-help world, a lot. And for me, like, it just blows my mind. And because I'm like, all these people are talking about all this stuff, spreading love and light and saying like we're in control of our reality and la 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 da, 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 all of that, and yet they're still spreading divisiveness. They're still causing it, and I can't help but see right through it. And I'm like, how can you not see? You're standing here on your pedestals saying all of this stuff and doing another thing completely.
Oh my gosh, that is everywhere at the moment, isn't it? Well, every time I look at social media and they're preaching whilst doing exactly that. What they're criticising others for just makes no sense.
And I don't like it when people in this world who, like I said, are saying that they're all love and light and we need to all be one and blah blah blah, who then start calling out other people in
not being love and light. They're not coming from love.
It doesn't,
you can't do that.
You can't. No. It doesn't make sense. And this is where, okay, it's such a big concept in my head and I'm really trying to get it down, but this is kind of like my main point. At the moment, so many people have so many opinions about this and that. And in this world right now, I feel like we're just not allowed to have opinions. No one's allowed to have an opinion. Everyone thinks that what they're saying is fact. And they're not willing to hear anybody else. The other side are thinking the same. And then, of course, you're going to have this. And we see it playing out on the macro level, world events, down to the, like, even the smallest things like personal beliefs and stuff. Okay. And I am not saying that we shouldn't have our opinion, like our thoughts and our stances. Absolutely, we have to. But we also have to understand at the same time that other people are also allowed. If we're giving ourselves that gift, other people have to have that gift as well, and that's okay. If we were all the same and we all believed in the same thing, it would be
boring, wouldn't we? It would be so boring. And of course, that's what a lot of people want to achieve, is that we all think the same. And this is why they get so angry and emotional over it, because they want us to all think the same, and the world doesn't work like that. And like you said, it would be very boring. We all have to stay true to ourselves. We're all the same but very different, aren't we? We've all got different programming and limiting beliefs and all of that. So we have to run everything through our system in our world that we're creating. And everyone else has to do the same. And that's quite a good way to look at it, isn't it? Because then you can allow someone the space, because we don't know what's going on in their life and what their programming is and all of that. So they have to run it through their system and they're allowed to believe the opposite. But it's the whole getting angry, getting divisive, shoving it down other people's throats. And them, they're not allowing you the same honour as to have your opinion as you are trying to do for them.
And what I want to do in this episode now, because again, our conversation is tracking over to other people.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about other people do this, other people. But what I want to do is I want to bring it back to you.
Yeah.
Because that's what personal radical responsibility is, okay? It doesn't matter about what anyone else is doing. Like I said at the beginning, we want you to be able to feel calm no matter what shitstorm is going on. You need to feel anchored and safe in yourself.
Yeah.
And this is the message that I want to get about this personal radical responsibility, okay? It doesn't matter what other people are saying.
No.
When I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, I've got one here. There's a guy, he's pretty well known on the internet, and he talks about toxic parents. Okay. And his stance is because of the stuff, obviously, his stuff that he's been through.
Yeah.
His stance is very much, if your parents are toxic or narcissistic, cut them out. You shouldn't have anything to do with them. Blah 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 blah. And that's his kind of stance. Fair enough. Yeah. But then what he also does is he calls people out, and he's like, you know, picks on people who are saying the opposite to him.
Yeah.
And he'll say, and a lot of his kind of argument for that is, and this is where I'm getting to my point. A lot of his argument for that is that it's not right for you to be telling people that they should be talking to their parents, or they should feel bad for not talking to their parents because they should be cutting them out, right? And this is my point, okay? That's his opinion, and that's what's worked for him, and that's what works for a lot of his followers, right? That's because that's the area of consciousness they're in, that works for them, okay? But then there's a lot of people who that was not going to work for, and they do need to get back in touch with their parents or whatever, okay? Yeah. But what my point is here is he is disempowering, and this you have to get deeper, because I start looking deeper and deeper under the surface, right? What he's actually doing when he thinks that he's empowering people and saying, don't talk to your, you know, you shouldn't be saying that to people, you're making them feel bad, you're putting shame on them, you're forcing them to speak to parents they don't want to force to, he's disempowering you. And also, if people, which they do, get up in arms and go, yeah, that person shouldn't have said that, they're now giving their power away to this guy, and they're disempowering themselves. Because the point of personal radical responsibility is that this guy can say whatever he wants about what he thinks about parents. The other people that he's bitching about can say that same thing as well. And their opinions, the people here, like who's listening, you should not allow that to bother you in any way. Why should someone, okay, this is where it gets like, I'm putting it back on you. I'm really struggling to articulate this, but bear with me. Why should you expect someone to not say something, to not say their opinions, because that's going to upset you, or that's going to make you feel bad or something? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense? 100%. This is where we are still all in a victim mentality. Yes. We are not taking, even though we think we are not being victims anymore, we are still not taking full personal responsibility, because we are allowing people's opinions like that to get us to go, yeah, you shouldn't be saying that. That's really bad. Like, that's going to now this is where it's going to start triggering people. I can see it already. Good. Yes, good. Yeah. Because I'm trying to give you another perspective. Right. We cannot move out of this level of consciousness unless we see things from a different perspective. I say this all the time. So now I'm hearing stuff about abuse. Yeah. I can hear some people saying like, well, you know, certain people will say stuff about abuse and that's like disrespectful to them, or that's going to make them feel a certain way. Again, I'm still going to say, like, personal radical responsibility will, if you are taking that, and there is a journey to this, I'm not saying anyone's wrong here. This is the thing. Like, I am not saying anyone's wrong. I'm not saying that the examples I've given are wrong, because I would be doing the exact same thing. I'm not saying that. I am saying I see patterns beneath patterns. I see subconscious disempowerment, and I see separation. And this is what I am seeing from this whole thing. So I am not saying, particularly when we get to the sensitive subjects like abuse, I am not saying like, oh, stop being a victim. I am not saying that. at all.
No.
But what I am saying is, until you take personal radical responsibility and don't allow other people's opinions to affect you, and don't, more importantly, expect other people to have to say certain things so that you can feel okay, you're never going to step into your full power. You're never going to remember who you are. You are always going to be giving your power away to someone or something else, and you're never going to feel in control. But you're never, looking more forward ahead, you're never going to be able to get past this separation consciousness, this, like you can't come into this love, this connection consciousness, which is where you will start experiencing magic in your life. You'll start experiencing your full potential. You'll start experiencing this game, this illusion, the way that you were supposed to. And I really want to say, like, I haven't got this shit together. I am not sitting here saying that I'm never in
we come in and out of
separation
it all the
consciousness.
time. Yeah.
Absolutely. But what I am saying is I can see how this is feeding into the separation, how this supposedly positive spiritual self-help community is still feeding into the separation consciousness under the guise of let's not be a victim, let's set boundaries, say this, say that. I'm not talking about all the intricacies when I'm talking about this. I really hope people can zoom out, because this is what I always say, right? Zoom out, look above, and just understand the pattern that I'm explaining above. Forget about the context of it, but just see how, put quite simply and bluntly, why are you expecting someone to say something that is not going to upset you, or is not going to make you feel bad, or is not going to make you feel shame, or is not going to make you da 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 da? Nobody can make you feel anything. It's only what you allow them to feel. And we have to stop expecting people to keep their mouth shut for fear of upsetting us. And this is the whole work we do around expressing your voice, and feeling safe to be seen, and feeling safe to express. This is how the cycle perpetuates, right? Because there's a lot of people out there that are doing the same kind of stuff without you've come in with a mission, you've come in for a purpose, you've come in to speak your truth and be in your authentic self. And because of this very pattern, because of the way the world is now with this separation, you are scared to voice the magic, the absolute magic that is inside of you, that could help thousands, millions of people, and also will take us towards this 5D consciousness, which I'm trying to work toward. How much work have I done to try and be okay with expressing my voice and feeling safe to say my opinions? And I've still got a lot of work to do. But this is the kind of understanding, like when you take personal radical responsibility and you don't expect people to say, just block it out. Like, let that person have that really, really extreme view. Let that person have that extreme view, and just look at it and just go, oh, that's interesting. But it has absolutely zero effect on me. I don't care if that person is saying I should speak to my parents. I don't care if that person is saying I shouldn't speak to my parents. I make up my own decision, because I am responsible for myself, and nobody else can make me feel a certain way. Because when you also see that, you can then flip it, and you are then able to use that to express yourself, because now you're not thinking about the people on the other end that you're also doing that to. You're not thinking, oh, well, I might shame or upset that group of people, or I might, trigger or make angry that group of people. Do you see what I mean? Like, you can flip it. I feel like, have I made myself clear? Does that make sense?
I had so many thoughts when you were like, I was keeping up with you perfectly. I had so many thoughts, but it's so big, isn't it? And then I was on to the next thing, but it was all making absolute sense. And it's just about, isn't it? We've been programmed almost to be, so this body, meat suit, is our prison, almost, in our mind. It's our prison. And it's about busting out that prison and creating a space of safety. So turning that prison into safety and joy. And the only way you can do that is to have your own personal thoughts and bring yourself out of your body, to feel your body, and work out your intuition, what feels good to you, what doesn't. And like you said, block all the noise out. And I think if you can do that, you do block all the noise out because you're so safe within yourself. But it's like this whole journey that we're all on, isn't it? And yeah, we don't want to stay sort of like straddling the dimensions, do we? We want to like hop over completely to the 5D. That would be amazing. But like you said, there's still things that, even with all the work and stuff, there's still like triggering things, like when you said the other day, you know, with these people online, for example, that maybe you don't agree with, they are you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, but I know, I get it. But like, and I was like, that's interesting. Like, I can, I need to work on that, and I can absolutely see that they are me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just like it's so huge, isn't it?
So big.
When you're talking, everybody listening hopefully will maybe have those little like moments when like look into that.
Yeah.
But it's all just bringing it back to your own personal emotions and feelings, and no one else can control that but you. And once you realize that is like such a huge relief, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like all the layers that you drop when you come out of that state of, again, because I feel like a lot of us were just programmed from birth to always place the blame on someone else for how we're feeling. I mean, I did that.
Me too.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Oh, they've put me in a mood.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's upset me. He's hurt my feelings now. Yeah. All constant blame. And now I go, oh, my feelings are hurt. That's interesting. Where am I feeling that? Okay, all right. So what have I got to do to feel safe within my body and feel at peace? Because actually it's nothing to do with him, everything to do with me. And I mean, God, what a shift you get if you can do that.
Yeah.
And that's the only way we're going to do it. But listening to you talk about all these huge concepts, I don't know how you do it because it's like my mind's darting all over the place. Yeah. How you can like funnel it all in to make sense.
It's hard. I felt like I hadn't.
No, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
It's so huge, and this is absolutely the track we all need to be on, isn't it?
Yeah. I think because there's two things, like from what you said, I want to talk about. One, remind me, so the reflections, that they are you.
Yeah.
I'll do that in a sec. But this first one, sorry. It's like you said, when you realize it. So, I spoke about to me consciousness.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of everyone listening here now probably has already had that shift. Like you said, when you realize, they're not doing it to me, it's me. Okay. That's the jump from to me consciousness to by me consciousness, which probably everybody here listening has had that jump. Yeah. And I think there's a tendency, as with all of this work, that I'm just discovering now as I go along, because this is my first time in everything that I'm hitting. There's certain stages when you get into this spiritual journey where you think you've done it, you think you've like completed it, and it's not. It's just completed level 1, and there's another level, and it can be a bit dangerous because you get stuck inside this. Oh wow, like I just see everything in a whole different way now. This is the truth, and this is and I'm done. But it's not. There's always deeper layers to go. And I think that this to me, but by the way, I didn't make up this to me, by me, through me, as me. This is a model of consciousness. I'm not sure whose it is, but it is a model, right? And it's just come to me as I'm talking to this, and now it's making sense. It's like from that skip between to me consciousness and by me consciousness is what we've just spoken about there. Like, he's not making me feel that way. I'm allowing him to make me feel that way. But then I think this next jump that pretty much all of us are in now, where we go from the by me to the through me, and then potentially up to the as me as well in the 5D, is this next level of understanding of personal radical responsibility, even more so than this just the victim mentality we jumped out of, where you have to bring, in order to understand it on a deeper level, because you've already understand victim mentality, you're out of that, right? But to go onto the deeper level of this real true personal radical responsibility, which I'm not nailed, by the way, as well. I just always want to say, like, I speak about this stuff because I can see it and I'm aware of it, but I am never saying like I've done it. I just really want to like make that clear. I'm working through it and you have to catch yourself. It is a journey. You have to catch yourself. But like, I do see it. And what it is this, you have to, so in order to get this next level of personal radical responsibility, you have to bring in the understanding of coming together, or more importantly, because I think our human minds are still struggling to understand the actual truth and embodiment of we are all one. It's a bit hard. So rather than saying that, maybe let's just say you have to see through the separation consciousness, because we can definitely see that. We can definitely see where people are separated and divided. So see it that way then, in order to get your next level of personal radical responsibility and unlock a whole new layer of like through me consciousness, where things just flow through you and you can zoom through life kind of with this neutrality. Not that you're not feeling stuff, not that life isn't hard, but you have a sense of neutrality within it. You have to bring into this understanding, and you have to enact and ask yourself the questions: where is this separation? Where am I separating myself from people? Where am I, where is this division still occurring? If you can see that and see that from a zoomed out perspective, that's going to help you take the next level of personal radical responsibility. Because the problem is, as with all subconscious stuff, you can't see it when you're in it. No. So even now for me, there's going to be so many times where we had this conversation in my business. I was like, shit, Bex, I'm in absolute victim mentality of my business. Absolute victim mentality. And it's dangerous because you can't see it, because you're in it and it feels really real. But when you start, again, the reason I do these things is show you these patterns, show you these underlying subconscious stuff deep under the surface, is so you can put a foot in the door. You can put a foot in the door and break out of that autopilot pattern. And you just have this certain awareness, this certain perspective. You can now ask yourself, where is this coming from? Separation consciousness. Where am I still feeling like separate? Where am I perpetuating the division? How can I be one? And this is where it gets a bit triggering, because people are like, I don't want to be one with an abuser. I don't want to be one with someone who's like treating me like shit, or whatever. I don't want to be one with these bad results I'm having in my business. Right. We have to step out of that. We have to step out and remember that, to go on to the second point, which I said I wanted to talk about, which is the reflection. Everything is a reflection of you. Everything you are experiencing in this reality is a reflection of yourself. And sometimes it takes a little while. You can have it absolutely nailed. Like, you can see that, my relationship with my husband is a reflection of myself. My relationship with my children is a reflection of myself. You can have some areas absolutely nailed and then be totally ignorant to the fact you're still doing it in other areas. So for example, your business area, and so like you have to, I've lost my train of thought now. What I was saying. The mirror. Yes, the reflection. You have to constantly ask yourself and remind yourself, how is this reflecting back my beliefs? How? So for me, for example, with my victim consciousness in my business, I was literally projecting like my potential clients, not my actual clients. Because this is really interesting, I found actually, which I hadn't said to you, but I've got two different reflections going on within my business, which is really like even more confirming how the whole situation is a reflection of my beliefs. Because I've always said to you, when I'm in my work, when I'm working with my clients, when I'm doing what I came here to do, I'm like 100% confident in what I do, in myself, in my results, my clients. I have like this, oh my God, like I just see their absolute and true potential. I know what they're capable of. I feel it, I know, and I transfer that over to them. It's why my results are so good, right? So my beliefs around myself in my work and my clients are like spot on, and I get that reflected back to me. You do. My potential clients who don't exist, the ones out there, they don't want to hear me, they don't want to see me, they're not interested in what I have to say. They find me boring. I can't help them. I've got nothing to offer them. How ridiculous. It's the exact same. But that's what I realized my beliefs were about my potential clients. So they're faceless. I don't know them. They're just out there. But that's what my beliefs were about them. And I was absolutely having that reflected back to me. Like, I just grow on social media, not getting the visibility that I know that I am actually worthy of, and it's just so interesting.
Because you think, like you say, you're worthy of that. So you have that nailed. You have the self-worth nailed. And so you think, well, I've got the self-worth. What else is there to do? And you just miss it, don't you?
Yeah.
These just tiny...
Because it's insidious, because you're in it. And, it's like, even my words, even my language, I hate marketing. I don't want to do the marketing. I wish I could just work with my clients. Why can't people just come to me and then let me help them because I know I can? Like, why do I have to look for them? It's all victim mentality language. And it's all, I'm getting an absolute reflection back to me of what I believe. And then the problem is, this is basic subconscious reality creation 101. Whatever you believe, you get fed back to you, reflected back to you. And then that continues to solidify the belief. You're obviously seeing it it's rendering in your external reality. And then you're like, well, of course it's true. Look, I'm not getting any. Like, my social media isn't growing. It doesn't matter how many posts I put out. People don't contact me on social media, and so it's perpetuated. And this is where you have to step out of the victim. Personal radical responsibility for me in this situation is, this is my beliefs, this is what I am creating, this is what is being reflected back to me, because we are one. We are, again, it comes back to the oneness. So I'm separate from my client. Before, I was separate from my clients. I'm here, my clients are all the way over there. I told you, I saw them. It's almost like I have this big wall up around me, and my potential clients are on the other side, and they can't see me. Everything that I'm putting out is getting stuck behind this wall. And it's not getting over. That's that's what I'm putting out into the universe. That's what I'm rendering. That's what I'm seeing back, right? So in personal radical responsibility goes, I don't give a shit what my current external reality is showing me. I know this is my thing. This is my belief system. Because I know I'm good at what I do. Process of elimination. Like, if I was crap at my job and I wasn't getting results of my clients, I would know that I have to do something different. If the podcast, if people weren't coming back and giving great feedback saying, oh, your podcasts are amazing, again, something's wrong there.
Exactly.
But I know that that's not a problem. So the only thing that's left is my energy. And that's the most important thing when it comes to, radical responsibility. And so now my next step to take that is to say, my clients are me. My clients are just a reflection of me. And it doesn't matter how much my conscious mind wants to go, but no, they're not. They're their own people. They're they've got their own thoughts and beliefs. How is my belief going to change the way they act? That is the goal, right? That's what you have to get over. No, they are. This is a hologram. This is illusion. It's an absolute reflection. So now I have to spend every single morning, which I do, by the way, every single morning, visualizing, affirming to myself. And I'm not just say affirmations in the mirror, clients are coming to me. No, that doesn't work. Saying it, feeling it, meaning it, knowing that I am the absolute creator of my reality. It is absolutely my responsibility to get my beliefs under control, to ignore everything that I've rendered so far, because if I keep focusing on that, I'm just going to keep getting more of it. And I have to take stubbornness and determination to remind myself that those clients are me. I am not separate. We are all part of the same energy field. And when I change my belief, when I say clients are coming to me, clients can see me, and I start thinking about my potential clients the same way I think about my existing clients, and see them as people, or see them as they want to hear from me. They want to have, then I'm going to start seeing that reflected back, because they are just a reflection and we are one. So I feel like that my example there has kind of tied everything we spoke about together. But before that, I was absolutely in separation consciousness. I was absolutely still, even though I'm not in victim mentality anymore, I absolutely was still doing it on a deeper level. It took me a while, because it's subconscious. To understand. I told you that I felt like all the people listening and watching had pitchforks. And were like,
they don't want to hear it.
But I didn't realise that's what I was thinking. Every time I put a post out, that's my energy that I'm posting it out with. And of course, I'm going to get it reflected back. So, like you said, this is such a there's so much here. And that's why I was struggling to articulate what I wanted to say. And I feel like we have kind of broached a little bit of it, but there's so much at play here. A lot of this stuff, that we were talking about with regards to me, that's a lot of visibility wounds. That's a lot of like fear of success, fear of visibility, persecution wounds, witch wounds, all of that stuff. You can start working on that subconscious level.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff we're going to do in the collapse as well.
Yeah.
But and you know, I work with my one-to-ones on it as too. But like I said, all of that is the deeper work. But first of all, if you can understand this concept of, like I said, personal radical responsibility, see through this separation, the division, and think, how can I come from a place of we are all one, i.e. everything's a reflection of me and we are all connected.
Yeah.
Like, that might help you to start under that explanation, because it has me, help you to understand what that means when we say we are all one, we are connected. Because if everyone is a reflection of everyone else, but we're all human beings and we're all living our lives, of course that means we're connected then, right? Just as though all my potential clients are a reflection of me, I'm going to be a reflection of somebody else.
Yeah.
So somebody out there right now could be trying to, you know, get clients and not doing it, and I'm not seeing anything. All of a sudden, if that one person changes their energy, then that could be why I then go, oh, I see that person now, and she's standing out to me, and now I want to work with her.
Exactly,
because we're all reflected as well. So yeah, I think like that's what I kind of want to leave you with, is this bigger perspective of ask yourself, where am I coming from separation? How am I still being a victim? Where am I not taking personal radical responsibility? PRR. I should have come up with that before, because I've said that so many times. Where are you not taking PRR in any area of your life? Where are you still blaming some kind of situation, even though, because it's sneaky, even though it feels like it's so valid. You know, for me, I'm like, no, it is valid. People aren't seeing me. I'm posting. I'm putting this stuff out. My views are staying at 250. The algorithm's like blocking me. I can't seem to get out. Do you know what? Like, there's so many reasons that feel really, really real. But question them, because when you ask yourself, where am I still outsourcing the blame? That's going to give you your next level answer. And then you can start diving into what I spoke about with my examples, the underlying subconscious beliefs. That's where I can come in and help you. So if you're at that point and you realize that there are things that you aren't taking personal radical responsibility for, but you just don't know how to uncover those subconscious blocks, then get in touch, because that's where I can help you, and I can put you into the right place of where we could work together. But your first step is to definitely identify that. And social media is such a good way to start practicing that, because that's where I see it the most, when you've got people up on their pedestals who are trying to help. I just want to say, they are trying to help.
Sure they are.
They are doing what they think is right. They believe, right? They're doing potentially their soul mission. I know some people, I'm a bit naive and I see the best in everyone, but I know not everyone comes from a good place. But for the most part, I like to think, when I see these people doing this thing, I still think you're doing this because you're following your soul mission, you're following what you think is right, and we don't know what we don't know, and I'll be doing it. Someone could come and reflect back to me and go, oh, but Tash, you're doing it here and here and here, and I would go, oh my God, I didn't see that, thank you so much. Again, because I like, please tell me, you know, like,
but you're open, aren't you? That's what we need, everyone to just be open to other people.
It's just like I'm constantly aware that what I'm saying and what comes through here on the podcast is only coming from my lens and from my consciousness level and my perspective. It's absolutely 100% not the truth, and it's not the only way. And I'm just like, I have to say this because this is what's true to me, and I have to say my truth. But I also, I am not saying it's my way or the highway. It's resonate with it, don't resonate with it. Hopefully it will activate something in you. Maybe it won't. It's okay. I don't care.
You do your own thing with this information. You run it through your system and use it to...
You make your decision. Take responsibility. But to go back to what I was saying, is like, those people are doing it from a good intention. I think most people are.
Yes.
So it's not that these people are bad or wrong, but they just still haven't realized that they're still coming from divisiveness. So it's, again, I'm putting it back on you. If you see people in the social media world and they're saying you should be doing this, and if you're not doing this, then you should be, or you should, and it makes you feel any kind of shame, or you feel bad, or you feel like, oh, I'm failing, that's on you.
Yeah.
That's on you. It's not on them. It's not their responsibility to make you feel good about yourself.
Don't give them that power.
Don't give them that power. It's on you. You make you feel good about yourself, because that's their opinion, and they're allowed to have their opinion. And some people may need to hear that, but you cannot walk around life like it's all like we need to wrap each other up in cotton wool now. No. We can't. Like, okay, right, so this is an interesting visual, isn't it? Like, everyone's like all walking around like, you know, the little sheep when we were little and you used to make cotton wool sheep. Yeah. Like, I feel like everybody's walking around. Like, careful. Oh, no, we have to be careful. We don't want to upset that person. We don't want to make that person go into worse shame. We don't want to, I'm saying this like I'm taking the piss. I shouldn't say that. I'm not. But like, you know, we don't want to trigger that person into worse trauma. We don't want to. And this very concept that has been constructed in this new self-help, self-development, world is further creating victim consciousness.
Interesting, yeah.
It's
like the snowflake era, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's there's a balance, isn't there? Because you go back to our parents, and it's like, oh, you're too young to worry. Just get on with it. Get in there.
Yeah.
Okay, that comes with its own issues. But now we've gone the other way, haven't we? Where not all of us, but a lot of us are scared to voice our opinions because we don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah.
It's like we're not allowed to have our own opinion. And this is creating a whole new generation of this anger and divisiveness, and they can't handle certain things, and so it's like getting a balance between the two, isn't it? Because yes, we absolutely had to come out of that old stuff and nonsense. You're not important, you're just a child. And it's coming,
but this is where it's a journey.
Yes.
Because and this is, and I just love this because you've just brought it full circle, right? We had to go through that stage to get to where we are now. But this podcast is talking to a particular set of people at a particular stage of consciousness. So they've already gone through that. They've already understood that their parents did this and did that. And listen, that's the work that I do in the child and that work in the regression in the childhood. We have to do that. But then you get to like I said, you get to a sticking point. You're like, right, well, I know all of that now. I know what my childhood trauma was. I know how my parents have, done this, this, and this, and this. And I don't blame them. And I figure, but now where? Now where do I go? And this is what I'm saying. This is the next stage. So yes, there is a balance, but it's less of a balance and more of an onward journey. So at this point we know all that. We don't have to balance that out. Now we have to go, what next? How do we expand our consciousness higher? How do we see from a higher, different perspective? And this is what we have to see now. So in that past one, yes, we had to look at ourselves as a bit of the victim, and it's not a victim because, again, like I said, this is the work that I do, so I'm not poo-pooing it. I do it. It's healthy, and we have to look at the lens of, yes, my parents did do this, and yes, I didn't have my needs met. And yes, I didn't have what I needed, and that's why I'm like this, right? So yes, we have to look at ourselves almost as, for lack of a better term, a victim there. But then once we've done that, we now need to stop looking from that lower perspective. We need to start looking from a higher perspective and say it's not about being a victim or not being a victim. It's about that higher awareness of coming from love and oneness, and not coming from this separation perspective. And then that will help you move on, because as long as you still see people as being a victim or not being a victim, you're continuing the disempowerment cycle. And this is what I've worked with people who have been abused in all the ways of abuse, and they are freaking powerful. They walk into here and they go, I don't want to be a victim anymore. I don't want to be a victim to my past, to what's happened to me. I don't want this to define me. They don't want to. So, and you've got other people saying, they are a victim. Like, we should use this language. Well, that's okay. If you want to see yourself on that level of consciousness, that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But you will get to a point where you can't move on any further. If you want to expand, if you want to go further, and you want to become that ultimate creator of your reality, you have to let go of any kind of ties of what's happened to you and being a victim and move on. I'm not saying that it's not relevant, and it absolutely is, but it's still a choice of perspective.
Yeah.
Again, triggering to some people.
Mhm.
But I see it so clearly.
Yeah.
It's either you stay there and you think about that, and that's absolutely fine, and you live your life there. Or if you want to ascend to a higher level of consciousness and see the world from a different perspective, then you have to let that go and move forward.
Sure. Yeah. Again, power of now again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't live in the past, don't live in the future.
Yeah. Live now. And also remember that this is one, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
this is just one life of many, many, many lives that you've lived. You also chose certain aspects of this life. Hard to hear for some people, but I believe that you have done, and my past lives have proven that. And you either choose to continue that story, playing out that narrative, because that's what I do. Like, I help people change narratives of their lives, of themselves. So as soon as you change the narrative, as soon as you change the story, you have a different play.
Oh my goodness.
Open up.
I mean, yeah, you can flip that to be such a power, like you say, they're powerful people that come in.
Yeah.
You know, if you signed up for those really, really tough lessons, that's because you've got a lot of power within you, and you don't want to leave this world going, oh crap.
Yeah.
Because that's when you release everything. You don't feel the stuff that you feel here now, and you want to go, yes, I used that terrible thing that happened to me, and I did what I wanted to do.
And I took the lessons from it, and I moved on. Yeah, because you've chosen it for potentially.
Don't waste it.
Don't
like
waste it.
Such a hardship to go through. Such awful things happen to people. So, yeah, turn it into something good. The thing that you probably, before we've forgotten, wanted to become.
And it's a choice.
Yeah.
As I say all the time, you always have a choice. We think we don't have a choice, but you do always have a choice. It might not be the choice you want, but you do always have a choice. And it's understanding, when you get that personal responsibility, it's understanding that with that personal radical responsibility comes the ability to make a choice in any time. And the choice that you make and the story you tell yourself will directly affect the type of reality that you're living in, the world that you're living in. Like, you can live in an absolute prison, a hellhole, and you can live in joy and peace. And we've spoken about this before. We don't need to go into this again. But I hope that has opened up some kind of awareness for you around where maybe you thought you were out of victim mentality, but you still might be in. But also remember what we said, you can be out of victim mentality, but now it's time for your next level. You've done that first hop from to me to by me, and now we want to get into by me to through me, because through me, like you said, through me, it's nice. When I get the taste of the through me consciousness, I know exactly when I'm in through me, and everything just feels like you're on a river, like, and the current is taking you down, and you're just literally, it's just ease and flow. And yes, you can feel discomfort and things can be scary and all of the bits, but actually things just come to you, opportunities, people, life, like experiences just change like that out of weird ways, because you've stepped out of that victim mentality, and you've taken responsibility for the fact that you are creating your life through your beliefs. And now I'm hoping that if I stay consistent and I continually remind myself, where am I separating myself from my potential clients? Where am I still in victim mentality? Where am I not taking radical responsibility for my beliefs and the way that I am seeing those potential clients? Hopefully I'll start having that in time, reflect back. And that's the thing, you have to wait, because there is a time delay here on earth, which is a bit of a bugger. Sometimes you see things happen. I've seen things happen almost instantly, but I think the tougher the belief is, and this is a deep old belief for me, it scares me a little bit. Like, I had a little bit of a wobble this morning in the kitchen, because I was like, oh, this is such a deep belief that I've practiced for a good 4 years now.
And feel unsettling.
It's gonna take a lot of dedication from me to put into practice all the things that I know will help me change those beliefs, rewire those beliefs. And it's hard, because your ego will step in and go, that's no, that's real, that's really, really real. But you'll always hear a no but. And if you hear a no but, just question it, because it is just a belief. Beliefs are so malleable, but they don't feel it. They feel it feels like this is just realness, and it's really hard. It is really hard.
Difficult.
Like I'm in the middle of it, but I'm hopeful, and I am committed because I have the privilege and honor of doing this work every day with people. I've done it for myself over the last like 5-6 years, and I know that it works.
Yeah.
So even when I really get like down and be like, oh, this is pointless.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one where I can't. No, this is the one where I really am a victim. This is the case. I am actually a victim here. Yeah, I can pick myself up and go, no, come on, keep going. But yeah, if you need any help with that, because I am lucky because I do know I can make myself hypnosis audios. I know how my subconscious mind works. I know how sneaky beliefs are. And I also can see subconscious blocks. It's harder to do for myself, but I still can do it. And so I've got quite a good advantage to help myself, but I get that a lot of you guys just don't even have a clue where to go. So if you would like help with that, please do get in touch. Please let me know, and I can show you like what one of my offerings might be good to help you. And if you want your feet done and you need some reflexology, we have a trained reflexologist in the house. Guys, if you are in the Southampton, Portsmouth area, you need to get in touch with this lady, because her energy, when she does your feet, it's just bliss.
Oh, my love. Oh, I can't wait. Bring me those toes.
Yeah. I love that. Everyone else is like, oh, hang toes. Yeah. Little toes. Anyway, guys, do you know what? I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode.
Yeah.
Come in and join us in our private podcast community, Be Your Best You, the official community on Facebook. Links in the show notes anyway. And also, can we please ask, if you haven't done so already, if you've enjoyed this episode, if you're loving this episode, please make sure that you're following or you're subscribed over on YouTube. And we would be so grateful if you could leave an actual written review, because we found out that really does bump you up in the algorithm. It pushes you out. The podcast players love it. They love it, and it pushes you out. So please, we just want as many people to hear this as possible. Help me in my victim mentality. Let me take personal radical responsibility. Get those reviews done. Share it with your friends. And thank you so much for all your support, guys. As always, we will see you next week. Take care. Bye.